Welcome back to part two of our presentation about stress and how to manage it before it manages you. In part one, we talked about defining stress, its symptoms, and how to categorize it. Now, we'll discuss some coping techniques and tools that you can use. Enjoy! So, what are some tools and coping techniques you can use to deal with your stress? First, let's talk about the importance of acceptance. You can control your thinking. Accepting situations that you cannot change is key to managing stress. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can control your reaction to it. Keep a positive attitude. Avoid dwelling on the negative. Look for the positive in seemingly negative situations, i.e., can you learn something? Though it can be helpful to talk to family and friends about negative situations, be aware that conversations dwelling on the negative can become a negative downward spiral. Your focus may become even more negative, and the people that you rely on the most may shy away from your negativity. Don't waste time and energy worrying. This may seem easier said than done, but many times we worry about things that may never happen or that we can't control. Be sensible and take proper precautions, then let it go. When worrying seems to be taking over your life, ask yourself, have I done everything I can? If not, what else could I realistically do? Has anything like this happened before? When it did, what did I learn from that situation? What was the worst possible outcome? This is helpful when you are worrying over less important things. And what advice would I give a friend who was in the same situation? Keep things in perspective. Look at a stressing situation in the grand scheme of things. Ask yourself how important it will be in the long run. Will it matter in a month? A year? Use a gratitude journal to write down one or two things that you are grateful for each day. A mental note will work too. If you are mortified by an embarrassing situation, think about how important it will seem in 5 years. And also remember to ask for help and support. Handling stress doesn't always have to be done alone. Turn to your friends, family, physician, clergy, social workers, or your company employee assistance program, EAP. Now let's talk about physical activity and exercise. You can literally run away from stress, or walk, swim, or bike. Exercise is one of the most effective tools to manage stress. It may not change the situation, but it will give you a positive outlet to deal with that stress. A physically fit body is better able to withstand the effects of stress. Exercise has a calming effect that lasts long after the exercise session is over. Repetitive exercises like walking, running, and swimming can produce a mental state like meditation. Aerobic exercises, those that make your heart beat faster for at least 20 minutes, release chemicals in the brain called endorphins that reduce depression and stress. Non-aerobic stretching exercises, such as yoga, are also calming because they induce deep breathing and a meditation-like mental state. Next time you feel the tension of stress building up, take a 5 or 10-minute brisk walk and see how you feel afterwards. So, how do we fuel our body to best deal with stress? A nutritious and balanced diet before and during periods of high stress can increase a person's ability to cope with stress. Unfortunately, many of us turn to sugar and caffeine during stressful times. These lead to eating excess calories as well as nervousness and anxiety. Using alcohol in order to relax can create its own set of problems, so limit alcohol to no more than one drink per day for women and no more than two drinks per day for men, if you drink at all. If you do not drink, do not start. Severe calorie restriction will deprive your body of vital nutrients and can cause you to feel fatigued and less able to deal with stress. Focus on balance, variety, and moderation in your eating choices. Be sure to include plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Adequate sleep supports optimal mental and emotional functioning. Lack of sleep can be both a cause and effect of stress. Sleep improves mood and feelings of competence. Try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night and try to follow a regular sleep schedule. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine right before bed and allow yourself to forget worries until the next day. It's also important to monitor the self talk that goes on in your head. Be mindful of negative and destructive thoughts and practice replacing them with positive thoughts. Positive self talk can be helpful. Instead of telling yourself, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen, I can't handle this is going to be an awful dentist appointment, and I'll be terrible at this, use positive statements such as, things could be worse, this too shall pass, it's okay for me to be upset and sad for a while, I'm going to be extra nice to myself and work on accepting this situation. I've made it through worse situations, so I know I can handle this, and I'll learn something new and can ask for help when I need it. We tend to live up to the statements that go on in our head, whether they are positive or negative. So focus on living in the present. Avoid dwelling on past stressful situations as well as worrying too much about what might happen in the future. Let other people do their own thing. We can't change other people, but we can change ourselves and how we deal with others. Don't get trapped into black and white thinking. Sometimes when you feel that it has to be this way or no way, you set yourself up for confrontation and stress. There may be room for gray in many situations. Avoid perfectionist thinking. Will your children really remember if your kitchen floor was always spotless, or will they remember the times that you spent playing in the yard with them? Don't create a mountain out of a molehill. Step back and ask yourself if you are making mountains out of molehills or over dramatizing a situation. Have you ever said or thought, this situation is completely hopeless. Why does this stuff always happen to me? And I'll never get this project finished on time. And give people a break. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, doesn't acknowledge your greeting, or is rude to you, cut them some slack. They may be having a really bad day. We've all been in this place at some point. And don't just blame people and things for your stress. Look at your thinking too. It can be empowering to realize that we have control over our thoughts and reactions to stressful events. It's also important to remember to laugh. Research continues to show the power of laughter and humor. Try to find opportunities to smile and laugh more. Look for the humor in tough situations, as long as it's not at someone else's expense. And don't take yourself so seriously. Laughter can have many benefits, such as releasing hostility and reducing anger, aiding in healing and reducing pain, decreasing blood pressure, and simply making life more fun. Remember, laughter is inner jogging. Understanding time management can also be a useful tool to handle stress. First, identify the time killers in your life. These are things like interruptions, TV, chatty coworkers, etc. Once you identify them, you can see if you have any control over them. Set and prioritize your goals. Focus most of your time on your highest priorities. This sounds obvious, but after listing your top goals, you'll often find that the majority of your time is not spent on them. Get organized. Take time to sharpen the saw. It will save you time in the long run. Disorganization is stressful. Clean your desk, tidy your car, and organize your closets. You won't believe how much less stressed you'll feel. Conduct nightly audits. Select your clothes for the next day, organize the kids' lunches, backpack, etc. A few minutes of organization in the evening will make your mornings less stressful. Allow for extra time. Factor in a buffer to allow for unexpected delays. Create a comfortable morning routine. When you start your day feeling rushed and frazzled, you set the stage for a stressful day. Go to bed a little earlier and set your alarm about 30 minutes earlier too. Plan to arrive at work 10 minutes before you need to be there. And delegate where and when you can. Learn to say no. Be protective of your valuable discretionary time. Make sure that the things you agree to match your priorities. Plan ahead for distractions. Factor them into the time that you need to complete a project. Also avoid distractions. When trying to accomplish an important task, take steps to limit distractions, such as not answering the phone for a time, checking emails only at certain intervals during the day, etc. Don't automatically react to an interruption. Instead, you might ask yourself whether your current task or the interruption is more important, or decide whether you can handle the interruption at a better time. And schedule exercise and fun time. Just like you schedule your kids' practices or playdates, schedule time for regular exercise and other fun activities so you can re-energize and rejuvenate. Try doing meaningful things for others. Helping others is a great way to reduce stress. Even in the worst of times, it can help us gain perspective, lead to positive feelings, often known as helper's high, and increase our social connections. Here are some quick relaxation exercises to handle stress, or what we call a timeout from tension. These techniques can help you turn off the stress response, such as deep breathing. Deep breathing helps us turn off the fight in our flight and response system. Visual imagery can also be highly beneficial, and listening to the music that you enjoy can be a great way to reduce stress for a few minutes. You often find that your breathing is rapid and shallow when stressed. So instead, deep breathing diffuses that stress response by increasing oxygen to the brain and lowering your heart rate and blood pressure. It's one of the simplest relaxation techniques and it remains one of the most effective. So when you're stressed, try taking a minute or two and just focus on your breathing. When you first start trying out deep breathing, it can be beneficial to follow these steps. First, place one hand on your abdomen and the other on your chest. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose into your abdomen. Your abdomen should expand out as far as comfortable. Hold your breath for a few seconds, then exhale gently and slowly through your mouth while pursing your lips. Relax and then repeat. It is important to remember that the hand on your chest should not rise as you inhale. Visualization works to erase feelings of stress with images of relaxing scenes, such as a sunny beach, a beautiful meadow, a quiet mountaintop, etc. It should be a place that makes you feel calm, happy, and relaxed. When you first begin your visualization techniques, it can be beneficial to have an image in front of you that induces a calm, relaxed state. Imagine yourself being there, and eventually, once you're comfortable, you can start imagining that place in your mind. Listening to music can also be a beneficial way to reduce stress. It has been shown to influence your pulse, blood pressure, and the electrical activity of your muscles, either elevating it or reducing, depending on the type of music and your response to it. It can also lessen depression, anxiety, and stress levels. So set aside time to listen to selections that create calmed and relaxed feelings for you. Then try playing that music the next time you sit down for dinner. Other relaxation techniques. Uplifts. These activities bring you pleasure and help to reduce stress. They can include things like talking with a friend, playing a musical instrument, hobbies, volunteering, cooking, or gardening. Some refer to these uplifts as their therapy. Make an effort to allow time for uplifts. Plan to do at least one thing that is uplifting to you today. Journaling. Research has shown that people who express their emotions on paper score better on psychological well-being tests and get sick less often. Writing down concerns, feelings, or anything that is on your mind is often a positive way to start coping. Buy a notebook and get started tonight. Progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR. This technique reacquaints you with the sensation of muscular tension and increases your ability to relax at will. It involves progressively tensing and relaxing specific muscle groups throughout the body from your head to your toes. Massage. Nothing beats a massage to help relax tense muscles in a nice, relaxing atmosphere. If a professional massage isn't within your budget, ask your spouse, significant other, or a child to give you one, or try a massage pad. Yoga. This ancient practice from India develops physical and mental awareness by focusing on combining postures, breathing exercises, and meditation to relax the body. Tai Chi. Another popular ancient technique from China can help you reduce stress and improve balance, agility, and flexibility through gentle movements. A quick summary of everything we went over in part 1 and part 2 of our presentation today. Many things can influence the impact stress has on your life. Simply having a positive outlook will better help you be able to deal with the stress in your life. And make sure to surround yourself with the resources that you need in order to cope with those stresses. And do practice your stress reducing skills, as they will improve over time. Also, try changing the way that you see an event and make sure you understand whether or not it's within your control. It may be the biggest factor in staying on top of stress. How can you try changing your perspective and start bringing your expectations and reality closer together? I hope you've left today's presentation with a better understanding of how to manage stress. As we end today, please take a moment to think about what you've learned and write down one small step you will take this week towards managing your stress. We want to thank you all for joining us for this two-part presentation about managing stress before it manages you. If you ever have any questions about this or anything within your health and fitness journey, we at the Place for Wellness would love to have a conversation with you. Thank you.